Hey everybody! Welcome back to Northernlion, place of Binding of AFTERBIRTH Plus. Oh baby! 13 lucky wins in a row. And look at this. I mean, I was saying look at that, but it's not that good. RTJ7YV9T. Bad haircut. If you have this haircut, I apologize. Maybe it looks better on you than it does on Eden. I was watching, there was a... I'm 30 years old. I was a teenager and a young adult during the mid-2000s. To the late 2000s, to be fair. But I was watching a Good Mythical Morning episode. I know it sounds like a Markov chain of NL responses, but for real, it's going somewhere. I was watching an NL, or a Good Mythical Morning episode recently, and they ranked the worst fashion trends of the 2000s. Now, I don't want to spoil the video necessarily, but I'm gonna. I'd recommend you watch it. They're a charismatic group of individuals. Yeah, they went through, a 2-month period last year where the series got markedly worse. They recovered, and I'm being sincere. I was like, man, I don't want to watch this anymore. And then they completely reverted back to their early formula. And I was like, you know what? You got me back. They've done a savvy businessmen and entertaining as well. So they were ranking them. And I was like, man, it's been a long time. I mean, it's been 10 years since 2009. Fashion, in my head, fashion has not changed. Or trends have not changed. In reality, it's changed a lot. They were showing pictures from 2007, 2008, and I was like, oh my god. First one, cut off, like, crop tops that show your belly button, and extremely low-rise jeans. I went to school, like high school, in the era where every high school girl wore that, and then also wore a thong, so they showed, like, they called it a whale tail, to be disgusting, coming out of the back. That was considered fashion when I was in high school. On top of that, Ed Hardy, Von Dutch, kind of like MMA / trucker hat wear. I was like, oh my god. I haven't seen anybody that has looked like that for like 10 years, except when I go to Metro Town. That's a joke for BC natives amongst us. But anyway, there was a clothing store in my hometown, which I'm sure is a chain clothing store. It was called Garage, and they sold all the, like, trucker hat, puffy vest sort of stuff. And I was like, oh my god, this is such a flashback. Everybody, when I was in, like, my second year of university, and then I went to the mall, everybody looked like that. It was like seeing into a distant mirror, like Barbara Tuchman. Those were the days, dude. Arrow Postal t-shirt, puffy orange vest on top of that, trucker hat, and shorts from American Eagle. I was more of the, I want to say, towards the end of high school, I was dressed, basically. I had a friend who worked at a clothing store, and she was like, your wardrobe sucks. And I was like, if I come with like a $200 budget, can I get clothes that would make me look cooler? And she's like, absolutely. So we did it, and I did look cooler. For high school. Not cool now, but times change. I've already talked about long sleeve shirt under short sleeve shirt. That was like my comfortable days. Other days, I was like bad Abercrombie. Like solid t-shirt. And then on top of that, a white button-up. Never ever buttoned up, obviously. What am I? You trying to get a job at an office, you stooge? Everybody looked like Breckenmeyer from Road Trip. Anyway, that's my anecdote. I'm just saying, it's not like an I'm old anecdote. It's just an anecdote that, like, I mean, do I really want any of these? Dude, I don't think I do. Let's go for Deals with the Angel instead. Going for angels instead. You guys like that song, Robbie Williams? Now, I was talking to Kate, and I was like, everybody that I knew in high school looked like this. And then she said, I'm pretty sure you are dressed like the same as you did in high school. And that's probably true. I don't have a whole lot to offer in my own defense there, except it's comfortable. Not to mention, I'm fitting into more of my old clothes now as the result of ye old Get Yoked 2019 New Year's resolution, right? But, you got good stuff for me? You got bad stuff for me. You know, you do kind of tend to become stuck, I guess, a little bit. Some of the other, fashion-wise, I think. Some of the other trends were like, platform sandals. Never really had to worry about those, personally. And, I'm trying to think of what else. Like, Abercrombie was one, for sure. But I don't know, what's, like, the most popular... Sorry, I undid my belt, because I just ate a big lunch. What's the most popular, like, clothing chain store right now? When I was 18, 1,000% it was American Eagle, at least in my hometown. 80% of the high school wardrobe was like American Eagle or Old Navy combined. Which was really convenient because the American Eagle was at the mall and then the Old Navy was next to the movie theater. So you could go pick up a couple of bootcut jeans and then afterwards go see the Da Vinci Code. Starring Tom Hanks and Audrey Tautou. Dude, I need some real offense on this run. On this floor, preferably. Now, I did say no to Deals with the Devil despite being high on HP, but that's because the Deals with the Devil sort of sucked. But what's the most popular now? I honestly have no idea. We're in the mall now and then. It might still be American Eagle for all I know. Money well spent, dude. I mean, American Eagle still seems to slap. I don't know if you guys grew up in a town like mine, but like... Oh, it's probably H&M, right? Now that I think about it. It's gotta be up there at least. But in, you know, where I grew up, when the American Eagle opened up... I've talked about this before, like when our town got an H&M, it was like a landmark moment, but... When we got our first American Eagle, it was like exactly the same. It was like, oh my god, American Eagle. That's that company I heard about on all the advertisements in front of my stories, you know? The American Corporation has graced us with the location of American Urban Outfitters. And we got a Chipotle now, too. Before you ask, yes, people where I'm from do talk like that. Some of them. David Cross has a bit, and it's very true. The so-called, don't shoot the messenger, the so-called redneck accent exists everywhere. I grew up in Canada. In the neighborhood that I grew up in, lot of, I don't want to say hillbillies. That's like a step too far. A lot of rural-minded individuals. Of course, farming, very noble, but then like, you know, a lot of illegal hunting, and everybody had a jacket with like a NASCAR number on the back of it. What's a NASCAR number? It's like the, you know, like a normal number, but italicized. And with a big outline on it. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway. I'm just saying. It's weird, though, how it changes, right? Because then, you know, I live in a relatively big city now, and ain't nobody going to... Well, not nobody, but... It's no longer like the height of fashion to go to American Eagle. Now out here, it's like, you know... I got this from Aritzia. It's a store you can only find in this city. Like when you live in a smaller town, you're like, dude, now that we got a Long John Silver, I can finally relate to people that live farther away from me. When you live in a big city, you're like, I don't want to relate to anybody else. Just me. Okay, so I'm begging you. We don't have to get a deal with the devil, deal with the angel right here. I would kill for a DPS upgrade of any sort. Even a modest one. Like a 2 increase, or 2 decrease, I guess, to rate of fire. You know, a -2. I would love it. I'd build a summer house on it. I'd drizzle it over pancakes. Please stop. This should be your indication that things are in a rough spot. He summons 1 silkworm. Temporary detour. He summons 2 silkworms. It's a nightmare. We can't possibly contend with the amount of power he's got. Beautiful. could not ask for more, like that song I hear on the radio but don't know who sings it. You know what I mean? I could not ask for more than a something something. I could not ask for more than a something smooth. You know, you listen to classic rock radio, you're more than familiar with this one. I heard a new one the other day. Dude, I'm gonna open it. I regret it immediately. I was in a cool bakery, you know, a bakery that's like a normal bakery but more expensive, and they were playing a cover of Tal Bachman's "She's So High, High, High Above Me, She's So Lovely, and She's So..." I didn't know that song had enough of a lasting legacy to inspire any commercial cover versions, but yeah, it's just a young lady in a breathy voice. She's so high. With a guitar, of course. Not an electric, because you don't want to threaten the people out of the bakery. They're trying to have a pleasant environment in here, sir. Can you please put your electric guitar music out? We don't want that here. We're not trying to create a discotheque. Take that to your rock and roll clubs, Ringo Starr. This is an acoustic family. I hate covers sometimes. I mean, the cover was very workmanlike, but I like a cover that adds something to it, you know? Cover that's just like, hey, this song's 15 years old. If I cover it, maybe it could get popular because the people who listened to it the first time are now old enough to actually be listening to the radio while they drive to work. That's what annoys me. You know, the kind of song they'd play in an American Eagle. It's not fair, actually. I have one enduring American Eagle memory, and that's I was buying some jeans, like, probably in the year 2006, and they were playing a song by Matisyahu, you know, the Hasidic Jewish rapper. I was like, man, it seems pretty aggressive, not aggressive, but pretty progressive for American Eagle. I thought I'd come in and it'd be like, you know, well, freaking way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, you could buy one, get one free blue jeans. That's where I was trying to go. But yeah, I was like, remember I went home and I Googled Matisyahu. I was like, I didn't realize that you were part of the American Eagle playlist. More power to you. And then I remember one time, I guess I have more American Eagle memories than I originally thought. The AMMs, as I call them, even though it doesn't make any sense because it should be AEM. I'm pretty sure that was where I heard that song from 2012 that you could not escape for about 8 months for the first time. You know, it's the one that goes, sing it with me. If you're going, 2012 song you couldn't escape. I threw a wish in a well. No, not that one. That one's kind of good. I meant, tonight we are young, so let's set. You know the one. That's the one, dude. Anyway, we made it through this floor. Life is but a dream. Better DPS for sure. Dude, we can kick it. Absolutely. Watch this. You genius. Don't ever, ever question my Isaac skills. Crap. It wasn't the secret room. Peep this. Try it, dude. We got HP. We can afford it. Oh, 3 retrovisions. You know what that means? Triple the laughs. Anyway. Dude, Twitch Sings came out. Twitch Sings is one of those things. It's karaoke on Twitch. It's insane in that it has a 1,300 or 1,400 song track list, which is amazing. Is also insane because, dude, I mean, it just illustrates for me like how far the internet has come in my own image. Like, not to say that I was the one who did it, because obviously that makes no sense, but like exactly, it's parts of the internet have evolved in exactly the way I would have wanted them to. Because I remember being in university and there was like one karaoke place on the internet, and they live broadcasted their karaoke 3 times a week, and I would always watch it and be like, why isn't anybody else watching this? This is the most entertaining stuff in history. And now it's available on Twitch for everybody, including myself. Only family-friendly versions of songs, you know. Because apparently when Snoop Dogg says the B word, I'd rather he called a woman a prostitute. They say they changed the B word to trick, which is not really what he's saying. In fact, if anything, trick is a little bit more expensive. But I understand, you know, that's a Tipper Gore sort of situation. Twitch didn't invent the, you know, explicit lyrics, be careful. That's not what it says. It says parental discretion is advised. You know, like they said in that NWA song. That's right. I'm not just familiar with F the Police and Straight Outta Compton. I be what is known as a bandit. You gotta hand it to me if you fail to understand it. Read it in Braille, it'll still be funky. What's next is the flex of a genius. My rat is... well, you know what? I screwed it up. But what he says is, my rap is stutter stepping if you've seen this. Dope, you hope that you don't really need this. 2 stars? 2 stars, why not? And I guess we might as well grab this. Where was I going with this? Anyway, Twitch Sings is cool. Will we do it on the NLSS? It's not really that sort of game, but maybe. I don't know. It does have the Sum 41 song we meme on all the time. Type to say the mom should have had another abortion. Abortion. Actually, we have abortion anecdote. I know that sounds terrible now that I've said it, but I didn't say it on the NLSS because nobody would have believed me. But Kate and I drove to a restaurant, it's like 2 weeks ago, and our, you know, car's heads-up display, whatever the heck you called it, the entertainment console in the center, it said the radio station was playing Fat Lip by Sum 41, and I turned it up. I was like, Kate, this is the abortion song. And then it literally, as I turned it up, it was like, add another abortion, and I couldn't bring it up. It was like a Bill Murray sort of moment. I couldn't bring it up on the show because I was like, everybody, I would think it was fake. And moreover, I would be like, dude, if you're gonna fake a story, could you make it more entertaining than that? Is what it is, I guess. But I don't wanna waste my time. One of my favorite Canadian bands, Sum 41. That's gotta be one of those things where, like, if you had to guess how their name was invented, it was like the sum total of their ages when they made the group. Which makes sense, because there's like 8 of them. The type of stuff my mom should have... I don't know why. They're from, what is that? They're from Flea, Flea Bottom, right? That's what it's called in Game of Thrones. That's, the joke, it got lost in, not even in translation, in execution. Give me a deal with the devil, please. You lucky so-and-so. You don't give me a friggin' deal with the devil. I'm gonna be right cheesed. So you might actually hear some Twitch sings coming from the other room, because Kate's streaming it right now. Truth be told, I am a very bad singer. Maybe, who knows, dude. By doing Twitch sings, there might be an opportunity for me to become a still bad, but maybe less bad singer with chat's direction. I don't know. It's possible, maybe. In my natural register, there's like almost nothing I can sing. There's like maybe 2% of songs, and I'm maybe even being overly nice to myself. But there's like 2% of songs I could sing pretty badly. But 98% of songs, I just spend the whole time trying to figure out which octave I should be in. Where I go, you know, I'm a dreamer, but my heart is cold. I had to run away. You know, I just keep doing that over and over. It's annoying, which is why I stopped doing it just then. Dude, give me compost. I got nothing against compost. Also allows us to not be using, yikes, dude. Magic fingers anymore, which is, to be honest, just not doing much for us. This run is very slow. Yo, that's not too bad. That doesn't mean it's not gonna get there. But for right now, It is kind of terrible. It's good in the sense that we're almost certainly gonna win and live, but it's bad in that it's 18 minutes deep, and you know, we only very recently have started having what I would describe as any momentum whatsoever. Dude, you've done me a great service here. Here's what you do. You go, yeah, and then it's just, you know, from here on, it's like 2 to the power of 6. 64 flies, dude. And if we could even, just thinking like, get another battery charge in the shop somehow, but I mean, that 5 cents for 64 flies is a pretty smoking deal, to be honest. So what do we want out of compost? We want to lose less flies than we gain from the compost play. Which I don't think happened there, but I don't think it was off by too much. But, you know, the thing is, if you ever get down to 0, it's really bad. But we're going to be at 0. It's not really bad, it's just worse than it could be. Okay, I'll take the speed. Oh, dude, this, you know what? You've done me a great service here. By giving me these, now I feel much better about my overall situation, but it's still pretty bad. Oh, well. Anyway, it's been a good weekend, dude. My apologies, by the way, for anybody that has gotten into Formula 1 because I've been talking about it more. Because the race this weekend was on at a great time for me, and it sucked. By the standards of the F1 content I've seen, it was the worst race I've seen by far. Not because of the outcome necessarily, but because it was just, you know, almost no overtaking, very little drama to focus on. Not necessarily like a waste of time to watch, but I also got to watch it at 11:15 p.m. my time. And so a lot of people, you know, stay up till 5 in the morning or wake up at 5 in the morning to watch it. And if you, oh, my mistake. If you did that and you did it because of me, my apologies. At the same time, lucky you, because that means that the rest of like the next 10 races are all at a reasonable time for you. So, you know, must be nice. The next 10 races for me are all at 4 in the morning. Yo, don't walk into these enemies that much. You're making terrible mistakes here. But, you know, apart from a relatively bad F1 race, it was a good weekend. I mean, truth be told, you know, F1 race doesn't really put a damper on things. Game of Thrones starts tonight. I'm going to spare you, you know, talking about Game of Thrones yet again, because I'm sure you're probably annoyed. Everybody's talking about it. Yo, dude, did you, speaking of fan service, circle jerk, dead franchises, etc., whatever terrible words you want to use, did you guys see that tweet from 2012 that not only correctly predicted the title of the new Star Wars, but also the twist in the trailer, at least? That's amazing. Now, I'm not, I should rephrase. I'm an incredible skeptic when it comes to stuff like this. Obviously, I don't believe this is a time travel situation. That's just ridiculous. But it really, if anything, is more fascinating due to just the power of large numbers. Surely, like a lot of people tweeted very, very incorrect predictions. Hold on. Can you hear some singing happening in the other room? It's really good. Like, a lot of predictions, I'm sure, were made of... Dude, you know... No, I'm not going to do it. Were made about what the new Star Wars is going to be about. But they really... I mean, they hit it 2 for 2, which is amazing. Maybe they are a time traveler. I don't know. I'd be mad if they were, because if you're a time traveler and all you do is go back and prove how smart you are by predicting a movie correctly, that's just dumb. Like, to be honest, use your... Even if you only use your time travel powers to glorify yourself, at least play the stock market or something like that. Don't go to this bush league garbage of like, well, they're gonna make a new Harry Potter movie in 2024. You know, that's a coward's way out. Try to get a little bit more advanced. Try to keep up, sweetheart. You get the idea. I mean, to be fair, the title of the movie is Rise of Skywalker. Or something, right? The Last Skywalker? Am I thinking of the last? Look, it's got Skywalker in the title, okay? That part is not necessarily impossible to understand how they could have predicted it. But the rest, the synopsis of the trailer, at least. Who knows what happens in the movie? The synopsis of the trailer was pretty impressive. Maybe they worked there. I don't know. Someone... I have Kate's chat open because after you raid somebody, their chat becomes your chat and vice versa. I wonder what NL's recording because I bet he's laughing his butt off right now. To some extent, yes. But dude, I would never laugh at anybody for having trouble hitting notes in Rock Band. That's, or, sorry, Twitch Sings, totally different. That's just, not just bad manners, but simultaneously, you know, a little bit egg calling the egg an egg. Right, Tomo? Oh, you get that? Oh, Tomo's got the big meow. Tomo. Oh, he did another one, but he kind of like, he got a little spit in his mouth when he did it, so it just went whack. Tomo, what's your favorite song on the Twitch Sings song list? Oh, Higher by Creed. Although I would like the world to change, it helps me to appreciate those nights and those dreams. Ooh, but my friend. See, he's singing along. I sacrifice all your wet food to make the earth and my dreams wet food. Come on. Come on. He's guarding the door. He doesn't want Ruka to come in. The only wet food is the wet food. You just, the joke is well, there's two jokes. One of the jokes is I'm replacing the words to Higher by Creed with wet food. The other joke is that I know the words to Higher by Creed. So there's really like an implied joke. So let's wet food. Let's eat our wet food. Come on, let's wet food. Dude, you know, are we gonna really bring back a 2014 bit? Higher by Creed. I think it's a terrible song, to be clear, and to be frank. But I think, even more than being a terrible song, the lyrics just annoy me. Because it's supposed to be inspirational, but it's basically like Facebook inspiration. It was, although I would like the world to change, it helps me to, and then he goes, appreciate those nights and those dreams. Okay, whatever the heck that means. But my friend, I'd sacrifice all those nights if I could make the earth and my dreams the same. Yeah, yeah. Then he goes, the only difference, hello Tomo, is to let love replace all the hate. There you go. It's just that simple. Scott Stapp has got it for you. Then he goes, so let's go there. Let's make our escape. Come on, let's go there. And then he says, wish I could just stay. Look, in the whole scheme of things, pretty minor lyrics to be annoyed by. But simultaneously, like, you haven't said anything at all, dude. I wish the world was better. How do we do it? More love, less hate. It's just that easy, brother. Tomo, what's wrong, dude? You're so, meowy. Not even in like, oh, you know what? I think it's because Kate's singing. And her singing voice is not bad. Especially compared to mine. But, I think Tomo is like, what is going on in the other room? Usually, We don't sing that much here. Kate plays the oboe from time to time, and I engage in some hardcore gangster rap, but that's about as musical as it gets. Please, I would like to be adjacent to the boss room. This one, I gotta focus, because it really could go all wrong. I mean, 2 HP is the real bummer, obviously. Ace of Hearts? Justice? Do we have a real Bumbus? Is this max level Bumbus? I don't know. I mean, Ace of Hearts, it's like, you know, it could be relevant at some point. Maybe a Judgment in here? Yo, that's arrestable, dude. I'm just trying to think about how we would do it. So we play this, we'll go down to half of a... I don't know, dude. Seems a little dicey. Probably should wait and see if you get paid out as well. A blanket has appeared in the basement. It can't be the first bed we've had in this game. Seems unlikely, dude. At least get Bumbo topped up, you know? Oh, that's exactly what I was looking for. Okay. I felt like I lost the plot a little bit here, but I've recovered now. It's just, the damage stat is still sort of bad. Like, our DPS is 7 and 7, more or less, but that sounds good until you're piloting it. I would describe it as being actually like a little bit crappy. More than enough to beat the game with, but not like comfortably on a low amount of HP. I think. Could be wrong, we'll see. Gotta tell you, dude, I love the curses. Nothing, ain't nothing like a good curse that completely makes it impossible to know where the heck you're supposed to be going at the end of the game. I think this adds a lot of value to the game. I think, personally, some of my fondest memories, a lot of other people talk about amazing runs they had in Isaac, come from behind victories, other garbage like that. That's not for me. Well worth it, I think. Most important thing for me in Isaac is wandering around aimlessly, traversing the same few rooms as many times as possible, just to give me a sense of satisfaction when I make it to the boss room. Even better if there's many rooms that have spikes involved, just to force me to constantly stay on my toes without the promise of really getting a reward of any sort. So I do expect Gimpy to be decent. I wish, sorry, that was like real genuine Salt talking. Nice. I do expect Gimpy to be decent. I do wish we'd gotten it before we played the Blood Bank, but, you know, I'm also happy we got it after we played the Blood Bank. Just no curse is all I ask you. No curse. And everything is still fine when you're listening to the DOG. He's got the cultivating music that be captivating he who listen. Words to live by. Hierophant. Beautiful. Amazing pickup. Now, oh, you always gotta sacrifice Spirit Heart to the Spirit Heart God when it shows up. You know what's nice about this run, actually, is that I actually can't lose, because if I lose, there's been so many opportunities for me to get better that my loss is 100% my own fault, which is, I honestly just can't live with it, so. We basically have to win, because if I lose, I have to face a certain level of cognitive dissonance. That's also why the same 4 or 5 people continue to dominate all of your high school and college classes. Let me give it to you as somebody who's shattered the curve a couple of times in college and mostly in high school, but a couple times in programming, believe it or not. If you're fine, don't believe it, but Mostly, Alges? Not Alges, that's Bracano. Most of the reason that I work hard and do well in the classes is because I've taken on the identity of somebody who works hard and does well. If I were to get like, and I think this happens to a lot of people when they go to college and they stop getting like guaranteed 100% maybe, they start getting like the first, you know, 70s or 60s in their lives, or even failing something. I think, you know, you get 3 or 4 of those in a row and you go, you know what, I thought I was smart, but it turns out I'm actually dumb, so now I'm going to play the part of the dumb person. I'm here to tell you, no, they're just trying to break you down. Don't buy into it. Don't you know that you are a shooting star? And the whole world will love you, just as long as you are. That's Shooting Star by the band Bad Company. I like to cite my musical references. No! BM, dude. Stop walking into enemies. I know, like, it's the danger of having Sack Dagger. Is just that now my whole offensive life here is focused around walking into as many enemies as possible. We also probably should not compost red hearts on the ground. I was about to. I mean, with Ace of Hearts, I'm kind of freaking here. Sure, we can make extra hearts out of it, but we got to be able to actually use it at the right time, you know? So we actually can compost this now. I think you played it okay. One's got to go. Or, I was just going to say, alternatively, good stuff. You just get them to the point where if they hit you, they're also going to die in the process. This is very dicey. Oh, that's such a good card, dude. Should have looked at the other card as well, but that was such a good card. I don't know, I'm feeling like all Isaac'd. I wouldn't say Isaac'd out. That's not really the right word, but like, I feel like I'm just not playing very well today. And I know you're like, we noticed. See, the joke humor radar level is still there. I think it's just like, we had a lot of content today. We should probably use Game Kid once, or maybe like forever. Now that I think about it as well. Save it for a rainy day for now, though. Yo, okay, not that good. You might laugh, but like, here's, and maybe, you know, ask Malf in 6 months. Streaming, making YouTube videos, etc., etc. It's not a tough job, necessarily, when you look at the actual duties of the job. You're just talking, trying to be entertaining, you know, playing a video game. But it does take it out of you. It does become exhausting sometimes. The same way that, like, you know, I think if you say streaming's an easy job, I mean, again, the duties of the job are insanely simple. But if you say it's so easy, I could do it 20 hours a day, sleep 4 hours, it would be my dream life. I think that's short-sighted. That's like me saying, you know, oh, you're a freaking, oh, you're a lawyer? Well, your job's not tough. You just sit in the chair most of the time. You would probably be like, you know, that's a little reductive. You know, I'm using my brain power on the regular. I don't really want bum friend. You know, I get it. Like, especially if you work a blue-collar job, I'm sure you're like, oh, tell me how tough it is to use tell me how tough it is to talk for a few hours. But, like, I'm just saying. It's not a few hours. It's like 9 to 10 hours. So please put some respect on my name. Okay, my bad. Sorry, sir. Plus, I don't know, dude. This might be controversial, but I think, you know, the average person talking, it's not very engaging, right? So, like, I don't think it burns that many calories. I don't think it requires that much energy. But me, I'm constantly, I got the brain overclocked and working quintuple overtime just to try to make anecdotes that make sense and so on and so forth. So, You know, I think for me, it's possible to actually, like, it is a little bit... It's harder to do what I do than, I would say, to lift 800 pounds over your head. It's roughly on the same level, in my opinion. Crystal ball. Okay, we got saved at the end, and I'm stoked for certain, because I was not convinced that it was actually going to happen. I don't know if we deserved today's win. In fact, I would probably say that we do not. But, much like success in real life, whether or not you deserve it really has nothing to do with the whole song and dance, does it? Instead, we're here at the end with 14 wins in a row. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks so much. I'll see you next time. See ya!